Hi guys, this is your Friday review video for math. So what you're going to need, I'm going to pull out my schedule so I can check off as I've completed the assignments. You're also going to need your workbook pages because we are going to correct 4-1 and 4-2. So on top of your workbook pages, you're also going to need a pen or a pencil to correct it, okay? All right, so this week, you on Monday should have done the video that I did for your review for the test. And then on Tuesday, you should have taken your topic 16 test, and the scores are already available for you. You can check the grades on the gradebook for online. For Wednesday, you should have done lesson 4-1, and there was a couple things that you had to do. The first thing that you had to do was watch the topic 4 video opener and turn it in. Then you needed to do the topic 4 vocabulary words and turn that in. You needed to do your 4-1 video online, your 4-1 workbook pages, and then your 4-1 digital quick check, all of which needed to be turned in. If you check your grades on your math website, you can see what I'm giving you credit for. If for some reason there is no score or you're receiving a 0, it's because I did not receive the video that you turned in. So that is up to you guys to be checking, or you guys can jump onto my Zoom meeting during my office hours and ask me, and I can help you then, okay? So let's just go ahead and get straight into it, make this a short video. So the first thing that I did was I pulled up our vocabulary words, and your vocab words for the week, the vocab for the math for topic 4 was just one word, which is called an array. An array is when numbers or pictures or anything are in rows. Rows go from left to right, and then columns go up and down. This is something that we call repeated addition. It's when you add the same thing repeatedly, so over and over again. And then what's cool about repeated addition is this is the first step to introducing multiplication for you guys. So as you can see, I have an array here of stars. I have, if I go down the rows, I have 1 row of stars, 2 rows of stars, and 3. So I have 3 rows. Now columns go up and down. So then I have 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, and 4. So what you're doing is you're going to be working with, in this case, they decided to use the number 4, so they're using the rows. So this first row has 4 stars. So this 4 represents this row right here. This 4 represents this row right here, and then this 4 represents this 4. There are 3 rows, so 1 row, 2 rows, and 3, and then when you add them together, you get 12. Now, here's how you can check your work. Obviously, I can go through and I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But the reason why we use repeated addition, and in this case an array, is actually that we can look at the numbers going across, so then we don't have to count each of the stars individually. So if there's 4 stars here, there's 4 stars here, and there's 4 stars, I'm doing a part whole model. I'm adding 4 plus 4 plus 4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. What's kind of cool about an array, you can actually come up with an array 2 different ways. Now this way, they did it using the rows, but remember an array also has columns. So this column right here has 3. So I can do 3, and I'm actually gonna write it for you guys. Hopefully you can see. Now this column has 3, so I'm gonna add a 3. This column has a 3. And then this last column has 3. So I have 1 column of 3, 2 columns of 3, 3 columns of 3, and 4 columns of 3. So then my sentence would be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Now if I add all those together, my total is going to come out to 12. I noticed that my sum or my total is the same because I'm working with the same stars. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed was instead of me adding 4 3 times, I added the number 3 4 times. So I kind of like changed it around. So you can either add the rows, in this case what they did, or you can add the columns like what I did. But no matter what you do, you're also always going to get the same total, the same sum. Okay? All right, so I'm going to stop with that. Okay, so now the next thing that you guys should have done was that you should have watched your 4-1 math video. And then you should have done the Reteach page. So is this my Reteach page? Okay. Pull out your red pens or your red colored pencils because you should make these corrections. So remember, we're doing repeated addition, and that's where you add things repeatedly. So you're adding the same number over and over and over again. So these squares have 2 dots in them. So there's 2 dots here, there's 2 dots here, there's 2 dots here, and there's 2 dots. So instead of me saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what they're saying is you could just add it faster by doing repeated addition. So 2, 4, 6, 8. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals the sum of 8. Okay? Now, going into the math that you completed on your own, number 1 says draw the dots to show the equal groups. Find the sum. So they're doing a repeat addition of 3 plus 3 plus 3. So they put 3 dots here, 3 dots here, and 3 dots here. I know that if I add 3 plus 3 plus 3, my sum is 9. And then the way that I could check my work is to count the dots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My sum is 9. I checked off my work. Number 2, they're doing repeated addition with the number 4. So they're adding 4. They're adding 4, they're adding 4, they're adding 4. They're adding the number 4 4 times because here's 1 4, a second 4, a third 4, and a 4. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16. And remember, the way that you can check your work is actually to count the dots. Number 3, they're working with 5s. So there's a 5 here, a 5 here, a 5 here, a 5 here, and a 5 here. So there are 5 boxes of 5. So this repeated addition is 5, adding 5 5 times. So this 5 represents this box, this 5 represents this box, this 5 represents this box, this 5 is for this box, and then this 5 is for this last box. So I can put up, and I can go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, my sum is 25. And then number 4, they're adding the number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So they're doing 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. And if I add those together, it's 20, okay? So that's your reteaching page. Now, if we go to your practice page, you did repeated addition as well. And then it says use the models to complete your sentence. So for number 1, it says question and all. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they added the number 1 5 times. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 5. Number 2, there's 2 boxes. Now these boxes each have 5, so I can do 5 plus 5. So I'm adding 5 2 times. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Number 3, I have 3 boxes of 3. So I'm doing 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. Number 4, I have 3 boxes of 3 boxes of 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. And then number 5, they have a word problem for you. So 2 monkeys climb a tree. Each monkey picks 3 bananas. So this monkey picks 3 and this monkey picks 3. So I have 2 monkeys that each picked 3. So 3 plus 3. The number sentence should be 3 plus 3. And then in total they would have 6, but they don't need your answer for this one. Number 6, it says find the sum, and sum is total for an addition sentence. Write the addition sentence to show the same amount. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ropes. 5 ropes here, 5 ropes here, 5, I think these are ropes, 5 ropes here and 5 ropes. So I have 1 group of 5, second group of 5, third group of 5, and 4 groups of 5. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 20. Okay, let me go ahead and pause my video so then I can open up the next one for you guys. Okay, so now we should be opening up your workbook page to 4-2, and this is where you're building an array. Now remember, an array is when you have, so this one it says a collection of objects arranged in equal rows and columns. So you need to have the same number of the same objects in one row, in all the different rows, or in columns. So what that means is if I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, each of those 4 rows need to have the same number of dots in them. So this row has 3 dots, this one needs to have 3, this one has 3, this one has 3. So this is objects that are equal rows and equal columns, and this is called an array. You can use an array to show equal groups. So for example, it says circle each row and count the numbers in each row. So here's 1 row, here's a 2nd row, here is your 3rd row, and here's your 4th row. There are 4 rows. So rows go from left to right, kind of like how you'd be reading, okay? It's a horizon, it goes from left to right. Now it says there are 3 dots in each row. Write the addition sentence. So I have 1 row of 3, a 2nd row of 3, a 3rd row of 3, and a 4th row of 3. So I have 4 rows, and each of those rows have 3. So my addition is going to be 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So that's where they have 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. And then in total, I have 12. And I can check my work by adding those together. Now, my friends that are, not new to multiplication, this is where you're introducing multiplication. So I have 4 rows of 3 dots. So when I am adding the number 3 4 times, that's actually how you would write a multiplication sentence. So you would take your row and then your dots, and your multiplication sentence would be 4 times 3, kind of like this. You're taking those two numbers, right? Where's my mouse? Right here. And I'm multiplying them together. And your sum is going to be your answer for the multiplication. So the answer is 12. So just so you guys know, my friends that are kind of ahead of the game, I just kind of wanted to show you how this connects to multiplication, okay? But as of right now, we're just working with addition, but I know that some of you guys want to connect those two. So even if you want to challenge yourself, maybe next to the addition sentence, the repeated addition sentence, you can create a multiplication problem and see if you're correct, okay? That's a great way to challenge yourself. Also, if you join my class, my Zoom meetings this week and next week, I can ask you some math questions, and if you get them right, I'll give you guys 5 dojo points every day. Okay, so join my Zoom meetings from 1 o'clock to 2. Okay, so here are your answers for numbers 1 and number 2. It says circle each row. Remember, the rows go from left to right, and count the numbers of rows. So before I move on to reading the rest of the question, let's do this. I have a row here, a row here, and a row here. So I have a total of 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. There are 3 rows. Count the number of dots in each row. Okay, so this row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And to make this an array, each of the rows should have the same number. So there's 5 in the first row, 5 in the second row, and 5 in the third row. There are 5 dots in each row. So I'm adding 5 3 times. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. Multiplication, 3 times 5 equals 15. Okay, and remember, if you don't know multiplication, do not worry about it. I'm just kind of adding this extra detail for my friends that do know that extra step, okay? For number 2, let's circle the rows. I have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, and 5. There are 5 rows. How many dots in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, because it's an array, I don't need to count every row's dots, because I know if there's an array, they have the same number in each row. So when I counted the row, there was 5 dots in that row. So I'm doing 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. I'm adding 5 5 times. So 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 25. Or 5 times 5 equals 25. Okay, guys? All right, so practice page. Here was your array. I actually am going to keep going with the strategy of circling the rows. I kind of found that a little bit easier. So I would have circled this row right here. If you didn't do so, do it in red pen, not because it's wrong, but just to kind of get your brain in that habit of circling the rows. So I have 1 row here and another row here. So I have 2 rows, and each row has 3 dots. So I'm adding 3 plus 3. So 3 plus 3 equals 6. Okay. This one I have 1, 2, 3 rows. That's why you're going to have these 3 lines right here, because there's 3 rows. Each row has 4 dots. So 4 plus 4 plus 4, and all together I have 12. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. Number 3, I have 2 rows. I have a row here and a row here, which is why I have 2 lines that represents the first row and the second row. And each row has 5 dots. So 5 plus 5, and my total, or the sum, is 10. Number 4, I have row number 1, row number 2, row number 3, and each row has 3 dots. So I have 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. Sorry, equals 9. Okay? Mrs. Rose takes cookies out of the oven. There are 4 rows and 5 columns. So they have 1 row here, a second row here, a third row here, and a 4th row. The reason why they're telling this, so if you ever needed to draw it, you would know that there's 4 rows and 5 columns. Columns go up and down. 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, 4 column, 5. Which addition sentence shows how many cookies there are in all? Okay, so I know that I can add 5 cookies plus 5 cookies plus 5 cookies plus 5 cookies. So I added the number 5 1, 2, 3, 4 times, okay? Which actually is right here. Here's a little strategy. Do you guys see how each of them have a total? If you want to check your work because you're not sure, count the cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This row or this cookie sheet has 20 cookies, not 9, so I can eliminate A, not 12, I can eliminate B. C is correct, and there's not 25, so I can eliminate D. That's how I check my work, okay? Last but not least, number 6 says, draw an array with 2 rows and 4 columns, then write a number sentence. So I'll do that one for you guys here. So I need to have an array. So an array is where the columns have the same number of pictures in between it. So I need 2 rows. So here's my row 1. And here's my row 2. I'll show you guys how I started it. I started it by just creating 2 rows and 4 columns. So I need to have columns going down. So I have 1 column, 2 column, 3 column, and 4. Almost kind of making a little bit of like, it looks yet kind of like a 10 frame, but this one only has 8 squares, okay? So I basically just made my boxes, and then I'm gonna put my little dots just to make it easier for myself. And each square has its own little dot, okay? Now, if I add this up, I have a row of 4 and a row of 4. So 4 plus 4 equals 8, and there you go. 4 plus 4 is 8. I think that's everything. Ooh, this is a short week for math, you guys. All right, that is everything. If you guys have any questions or this is a little bit of a challenge, check in with me. I have no problem doing a one-on-one lesson during Zoom. Also, if you guys want to get some extra dojo points, check in with me on Zoom. Maybe I'll give you guys some math questions. If you get it correct, I'll give you 5 points. Other than that, you guys have a great Friday, and I miss you. Bye.